Palantir saw a massive 25% pullback last week. Simultaneously, California saw tens of billions of dollars worth of damage due to the California wildfires. And I'm going to show you how Palantir is capitalizing on this situation and why Palantir is actually rebounding back. Then I'm going to show you the exact trades that I'm taking to make tens of thousands of dollars on Palantir. Now, let's jump into it. As you can see, massive wildfires here. It's really a tragedy that California has basically mismanaged the issues that caused this wildfire, but Palantir is going to step in and help, and I'm going to show you exactly how they're doing it. But first, let's take a look at the portfolio. We're currently at 682,000. We saw a massive drop in the stock market last week, so this went all the way from 710,000, I believe was the high, all the way back down to 655, and now we've kind of rebounded, and I believe we're going much higher from here. Now, before we get started, remember, this is not financial advice. This is just me sharing exactly how I've built wealth utilizing options. And if you want my free options and stock plays directly in your inbox, click that first link down below. I will be announcing my mentorship in that email list. Also, if you have any questions, you could DM me directly on Instagram at It's Ryan Hildreth, or comment down below. I answer all messages and DMs. Now, let's go ahead and get into it. Palantir Technologies has saw a massive pullback, okay? A lot of people scared. There was a lot of people in the comments section commenting that this is going to 20, it's going to 0, and we saw quite a rebound, okay? Now, we haven't fully recovered all the way up to $84, but we are going to recover there, and we may see Palantir still hit 100 in the next few months, and I'm gonna show you exactly why that is. First, let's dive into kind of the news. Palantir and Lockheed Martin both invested together into a new, basically drone company called Shield AI. They expect a valuation of around $5 billion. So this is interesting that Palantir they definitely have been investing in a lot of different types of AI companies, defense companies, right? And different companies like that alongside other huge companies. So this is great. This is great for Palantir to kind of diversify their investments and be able to acquire these potential next generation AI companies and defense companies. So that was an awesome piece of news there. But really what I want to pay attention to in this video, before we jump into price targets and levels you should be buying, I want to dive into their most recent video, okay? Basically, someone from their team, Tristan, talked about how Palantir actually powers operations across utilities and construction. So Palantir is actually going into the commercial markets, right? They're generating about $1 billion annually from their commercial business, but I believe this is going to 10 or 20x because they're going to be helping state and local governments, okay? Palantir is already helping Pacific Gas and Electric, okay, as you can see on their website, right? And they're basically helping these utility companies figure out the risks, potential threats to the environment, potential threats that are going to affect California, different states, their businesses, right? This was potentially some of the fires were due to Southern California Edison, stuff like that. So Palantir is going to be helping local governments, local companies like that are powering the state to be able to be more efficient and get rid of some of these outlier risks like potential wildfires or potential threats, stuff like that. So this is very, very powerful because what this means for Palantir is basically an endless supply of money, okay? They already have an endless list of government contracts, military contracts, right? That's the US could print as much money as they want to be able to pay Palantir for these services. And once Palantir implements their software into the government, into military, into local governments and local utility companies like this, it's very hard for these companies and governments to be like, oh, you know what? I think I'm going to switch softwares. It's very painful to switch softwares. As a business owner, I know some of my business is built on softwares that I've used for the past 7 years, and I don't plan on switching because it's so painful. And that's where I see Palantir having an edge, an advantage, especially when working with governments, okay? Because governments can basically borrow as much money from the Fed as they want, print money, and continue paying for Palantir's services. So this is something that I see is very powerful, and hopefully they can transform the future and to where we don't have these issues such as wildfires here in California, to where they're able to spot threats and be efficient and work with local governments to put out those threats. So that's why I love Palantir, and I do believe they will change the future, and that's why I'm investing in them. So let's go ahead and look at the chart. Now, we are down 25% last Monday, so that was a huge pullback. Now, as of right now, as I'm filming this video, it's the weekend. You're probably seeing this in the next day or two, maybe Wednesday. We're down 15% from all-time highs. We're currently trading at $71. By the time you're seeing this, we could already be back up to $77, maybe even between $77 and $80, okay? If we're not, awesome. I mean, that's just a better opportunity for you. But if we are, okay, I would be buying anywhere below $80 because you're getting a discount on the stock. All-time high was $84. And you're getting a discount, okay? We are making a huge rebound. Every time we've seen this stock touch or breach that lower Bollinger Band, the last time we did back in August, we have seen this stock rally for the next several months, okay? And I believe that this was a once-in-a-lifetime situation where you got an opportunity, and if you didn't take that opportunity, you missed out big, but there's still major opportunity right now because we aren't at all-time highs, okay? And earnings are coming up on February 3rd, so the stock may kind of trade a little bit sideways from here for the next, obviously, few days or a week until we hit those earnings. But I believe that we are going to breach all-time highs, or at least test all-time highs, when Palantir earnings come in good. They've secured so many contracts since the last earnings, so I believe the earnings will be stellar, and this stock will go ahead and test that $84 level again. So here is exactly what I'm doing. If you want to be safe, you want to generate income from Palantir, which I highly recommend. This is something that I personally do, especially with this huge downturn. It's not fun holding Leaps options or a bunch of shares and seeing Palantir go down 25%, and you're not collecting income, at least utilizing sell puts or covered calls. So let's go ahead and dive into it. I'm gonna show you the strike prices I would be selecting that are super safe, and then I'll go ahead and talk about some Leaps options. If we are below 77, it's still a wonderful time to get into some Leaps. If we are below 80 or between 80 and 77, this would kind of be the last chance that I would purchase some Leaps. And if we are higher than 80, I definitely wouldn't do Leaps. I would just stick to sell puts, okay? So cash secured puts. So let's go ahead and dive into the account. As you can see right here, okay? I adjusted my position on this big pullback. Once we rebounded a little bit, I felt the heat, right? I had 15 Leaps options, and I definitely felt the heat and said, you know what, we could be trading sideways from here for quite a while, and it was kind of uncertain. So what I did was I closed out some of my Leaps at a profit, okay? The ones that are not in profit right now, obviously I'm holding on to those. And then I held on to some of those longer term Leaps as well, the ones that expire in 2 years, because I do want exposure. But what I did with the cash, okay, it took profit and then obviously unlocked that cash that was locked up in the Leaps. I said, hey, we could be trading sideways up until earnings or up until March. So how am I going to benefit with all that locked up capital? What I did is I took that capital and I went and sold some more cash secured puts on this stock, because if we go lower, I'd love to get assigned on the stock. I still haven't gotten assigned, and none of my puts are in the money anymore, okay? I thought I was gonna get assigned on the 67s and the 70s, but that didn't happen. So all the naysayers in the comments, it's looking bad for them. But I thought I was gonna get assigned, and I was hoping that I was going to. So what I did was now I have 9 cash secured puts, okay? So right now we're generating 200, 400, 700, plus 1,000 there. So 1,700, 1,900, about $2,000 in income in the next 30 days, okay? $2,000 on $58,000 worth of locked up collateral. So I'm generating roughly around 4% on my money. And for every 100K I put into Palantir, I'm generating, 4K a month. And that's what I plan on doing. I plan on scaling up my cash secured puts on the stock. Once I get out of some of these in NVIDIA and some of my other stocks, I'll be able to kind of allocate that capital. So let's talk about the exact cash secured puts that I would be doing right now. Let's just go out to February 14th, 27 days. You could go 34 days out or even 41 days out. That's fine too. I just prefer to generate monthly income like on the dot. So we'll go here and I'd be going semi-aggressive here. All right. If we look at the chart, we can see that the bottom was 63. So I don't think we're going there anytime soon. And the high right now is 71. So if we just sold some, cash secured puts somewhere in the middle here, let's just say the 67 strike, that would be a great discount and a good place, just safe, solid place to get in. So right now you can collect $375 on the 67 strike, and that's a 32 delta. So we're not going super close, like 40 delta, but we're getting close enough to where we're gonna be generating a lot on our money. So let's do the math on that. All right, so the math there, 375 divided by 67, that's about a 5.5% return on your money. Like that is absolutely insane. If you were to just annualize that without compounding, mind you, you're gonna be generating higher than this, but that's around 67% return. And you're just collecting income, being safe and getting like way down here. Potentially if the stock goes down there, you get assigned, but that's very rare that you're going to. I've never been assigned on Palantir, and I've been selling cash secured puts on Palantir for quite some time. So, that's a safe delta and a 5.5% return, and I plan on scaling up this strategy. Now, the next thing you could do is leaps, okay? Now, I like to go out really far in time. I like the 2-year strategy. I think it feels the best because you have plenty of time to be right, okay? So if you go out 699 days, all right, I would go to this 70 delta call option and maybe go 75 delta because the 70 delta isn't even in the money. So I'd go 75 delta and that's gonna cost you $2,800. So versus buying 100 shares for $7,200, you get to control 100 shares for $2,800. And then you could basically buy a couple of those or even 3 of those, all right, and make a ton of money on your capital on this dip, okay? This is an awesome strike price, 65. That's a safe strike. I currently have the 55s and the 60s, but I believe we're going a lot higher from here. So if you do want to kind of lever up your money, you could do that. But again, I would recommend doing this cash secured puts because that is going to generate you income, and then you're not gonna worry as much when the stock tanks like that, okay? I know it's scary seeing the stock tank like that. I'm used to it. I've been through it, so this is nothing. But, for the newer trader, especially someone who's trying to collect income in retirement, the cash secured puts are definitely gonna be safer, more consistent, bringing you income. And then if you get assigned, great, you got a discount on the stock and you could sell covered calls at like 40 delta. So if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. I'll see you in the next one. I'm gonna link another video right here you could check out, and I'll see you there. Take care.